Do you want to come in now, back?
Yeah, I will just speak back shortly about the anti-fracking fight in Romania. And just to give you a broad overview of the situation, so 70% of the Romanian territory has been leased, in silence, in big silence, during the last 10 years. As to energy independency, that's a big bullshit, a big lie. Romania is already producing 130% of its gas necessity, and they are actually exporting 50% of it, and then importing from Russia like 10% or something, just to have an alibi to say, oh, we have to, to bear in mind Big Brother against the wall. And they have been using this argument for 2 years now, and people are really buying into it because they have been brainwashed that Russia is bad. Yeah, Putin wants to take over Romania as well, and all this kind of stories, of horror stories, which people tend to believe because all the media are joining to deliver the same speech. And now, of course, Rasmussen, I don't know if the people here are aware of what Rasmussen recently said in London. It was in London last week, yeah? He said that the anti-fracking movement is actually supported by Putin, by Russia, yeah, right? So it legitimized once again, the speech of the Romanian politicians about us, being supported by Russia. To the fight, it's been entirely grassroots. Romania has no experience whatsoever in this kind of fight, except for Russia Montana, which was very special situation with patrimoine, with heritage, which also made people coming around this issue easier than in the energetic whatever big debate. What we have right now is a very decentralized and uncoordinated action. Basically, we don't really meet each other. So the activists popped up out of nowhere. There were like simple people who found out about it by accident or by watching Gasland. So you have let's say unprepared people who joined this resistance mostly. All the NGOs, the environmental NGOs receiving funding from the states, are afraid to step in because it's a very hot issue and they know the position of the government and we know that they will be punished for that. Then you have support of the OMV. OMV is the Austrian company who bought our oil and gas company, our biggest oil and gas company, for nothing. It was a rip-off privatization in 2004. This OMV is actually, what I wanted to say about the OMV here. Oh yeah, they are financing a big greenwashing campaign for the NGOs. They are putting a lot of money into funding the NGOs so they keep them shut. So basically, right now there are just citizens in this fight. The Green Party is almost non-existent. There is only one single guy who actually resigned from this party, and it's now in the parliament. Really not that well prepared on the subject of fracking. You have the labor unions who are controlled by the big parties, and they are doing their games. So we try to approach them in our fight, and they are simply pulling back. So basically we are left on our own, and we did do all this with our money, with our time. We are lacking all types of infrastructure, so it's really amazing what's what's been going on in Pungest, as you mentioned it. There we have a resistance camp. It's not that much of a camp anymore, but yeah, this started in October last year, when they first wanted to bring in the machinery, and then they, the people organized, the people in the village with had no experience whatsoever. It's one of the poorest regions of Romania, and they are totally relying on the water and on the land, of course. These people organized together with the activists to set up this camp, which has been there now for like 9 months, almost 9 months. It has been dismantled by the police, but we rented a house in the village, and the resistance goes on, but the drilling also goes on. What happened in Pungest actually is beyond all the imagination. A democratic country in the European Union with the police stepping in during the night and beating out people in their own yards. So they enter in the yards so that they prevent the people from going out to the street to block the machinery from coming. So it was a huge scandal, and we brought this problem to the European Parliament. We tried at least to bring this problem to the European Parliament. We wrote to the members of the European Parliament, not to the Romanian ones, because all the Romanian members are pro-fracking. So I must say this from the very beginning, also the new ones. And we got some support from the European Parliament, but not really an official position. It was just the Greens and the German Left Party who took a position on that. Now to
the European
level. So I was involved in this let's say beginning of European anti-fracking network, which was called into existence in March this year in southern France. And I just forgot the name. Never mind. Close to Alice. And there were people from 15 European and from the Maghreb area countries. So we had people from Tunisia and Morocco joining, and like all the other countries having right now problems with fracking, notably the UK and Poland, and Romania, of course, but then also other countries. France, of course, did a great job organizing this. And the idea is to have common actions at the European level. But what I could see from that meeting is that the people are also very, they don't have the means. It's more or less the same situation like in Romania. There are non-professional activists who joined this fight because they were so outraged. They are doing that in their spare time mostly. And they simply cannot do that much. You have to fight it on the local level, and then to work on top of it to do some work at the European level, then it's impossible. And to the support in Brussels, it's been a problem, because there are just 2 people in charge of fracking. One is from the Friends of the Earth, and he's overburdened. He cannot cope with everything going on the issue in Brussels. And the other one is from Food and Water Watch. This is a small organization which is in the US, and they have an office in Brussels. But what I could see from here is that they are not trying to give us impulses. I was very unsatisfied of their activity, even though they are 2 and cannot do that much, but they are trying to put brakes on whatever actions that can be dangerous to the industry. So when we came up with the idea to make a European Citizens Initiative, they just said, oh no, this is going to be way too complicated. Who's going to manage it? I came with the idea, let's set up a website for the European movement. I said, no, it will be too costly and everything. So all the propositions to act jointly were rejected by these people who are supposedly doing the coordination. So I think it's now time to ask for your support, because I think parties of course have different capacities to organize, and of course to see if they are ready to join this network as well, because I cannot speak on behalf of them, and try to do something on the issue and get maybe some funding as well, because funding is a big problem. I mean, they had to raise money for the meeting in France, and I think they are still having debt. So it was really exhausting to organize this meeting. So I really think that we should do something in Brussels as well, because that's really the point where the decision has to be taken. I don't think that it has to be left at the national level, because I mean, you protect your country, but then the water flows, and the air, it's just, doesn't stay to doesn't stay at the border. I think that the European level is really important, and I hope this is a good occasion to join with the European and Norwegian anti-fracking network as well.
Okay, well, I thank you very much for everybody who's made their contributions towards this debate, informing us all, giving us ideas to think about. I think let's get the cameras out there. Let's do this 12th of July TTIP action and share that information. Perhaps we're going to have a website where we can start off by sending things in, maybe short articles and reports about the actions that we are already doing, that we don't have to reinvent the wheel, because we're all involved in other action groups and stuff as well, but that we can be sharing this as the European Eco-Socialist Action Network. But I think we can perhaps help, perhaps in Romania, to perhaps give advice about how to build from a grassroots to get a structure. I've done it twice here in the UK for anti-austerity groups for organising it. It was a coalition resistance, now it's the People's Assembly. In a way, you need to get somewhere of organising